Technology. Good morning, Facebook. Welcome to Mindset Mastery Monday, and welcome again to our friends on Instagram. My name is Tanja, and every Monday from 8 till 8:30 a.m. I am here and available to answer any mindset mastery questions, particularly for people in real estate that really want to get access to growing themselves and their business in the least amount of time. So if that is you or you know someone, share and tag away. Now, I have a couple of questions that I'm going to answer today, but the first thing that I want to share is a question that I have, which is, why do some agents succeed where others who are equally talented fail? Now, this is a question that Harvard professor, international author, and the researcher of the art of motivation, Carol Dweck, has been asking for many years. And Carol says that it really comes down to our state of mind, or as I like to say, our real estate of mind. She's distilled the fact that there are two types of mindsets that we can have. We can be in a growth mindset, or we can be in a fixed mindset. Now, as I'm sharing this and as you're listening, I invite you to really look at which one are you. Have a listen to what I'm sharing and ask, which one are you? Now, the other thing, as I deconstruct the two types of mindsets and how you can get access to achieving more success, is you're not one or the other. Some are more hardwired to have a growth mindset and some are more hardwired to have a fixed mindset. But you can have a bad day or a bad moment and shift from one or the other pretty quickly. So what are the characteristics of a growth or a fixed mindset? Well, so first of all, a growth mindset is open. And it really believes that it can build on success. And success is something to be built and learnt and developed. And a fixed mindset is closed. And its beliefs, good morning, Catherine, welcome back. Its beliefs are, success is not something you build. Success is something you're born with. People with a fixed mindset really compare themselves to others and think that others have this success gene that they don't get. So a growth mindset believes it can be learned. It has a I can belief, and it's very process orientated. It'll commit itself to actually growing. A fixed mindset, its beliefs are I can't, pardon me, it believes it's a natural thing, you're not born with it, and it's also worried about what people think of it. So there are four elements or four key ingredients to actually having a growth mindset. And here's what the research is showing. The more open your mind, the more open you are to growing. And if you have a belief that you can and you will, if you put in the work, you absolutely achieve success. If you think it's something that's you're born with, if you believe that you can't attain it, if you believe other people have a success gene that you don't have, you're going to really struggle achieving the success that you desire. So, oh, Catherine, thanks for sharing. That's very kind of you. Yeah, if you've got a friend in real estate and you want them to learn this so they can now grow and build their business just like you, then absolutely share. Thanks, Catherine. I appreciate that. So the four ingredients to establish a growth mindset, number one is effort. So people with a growth mindset know they have to put in the effort to actually achieve the results. And they put in the effort because they believe they can grow. People with a fixed mindset who are closed-minded don't actually put in the effort. They may create an ideal week, but they won't put in the effort to work in it because they don't believe it's going to work anyway. Sound familiar? So those with a growth mindset put in the effort because they believe it will help them grow. Those with a closed mindset don't. Those with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities to grow, learn, and develop. Those with a fixed mindset see those challenges as way too big to overcome and that they won't be able to do it, so they don't do it anyway. Those with a growth mindset see mistakes, again, as just opportunities to develop. In fact, they embrace mistakes. And you may have heard many quotes internationally that people say, you know, if the most successful people are the ones that have stuffed up or failed the most. Here's what they don't do. They don't collapse failure with I'm a failure. People with a fixed mindset do, though, because people with a fixed mindset are so consumed and concerned about what other people think of them. They're too scared to be judged. They're too scared to be considered as a failure. They don't put in the effort. They don't face challenges, and they don't embrace mistakes because they're afraid. And then ultimately, people with a growth mindset embrace feedback. They're really open to getting feedback from mentors, coaches, peers, or others who are successful to enable them to keep going on to the next chapter. People with a fixed mindset see feedback as a criticism and they get defensive. So they're not open to it and they close down and they shut off. So if you want access to be more successful in your business and life, it could be your health, your wealth, your relationships, of course. Here we're talking the context of real estate. G'day, Simon. And who's this? Neety10 joined. G'day. I look great, dear. Thank you. Thanks for saying so. If you want to grow yourself, your business and your life, consider it comes down to your real estate of mind. Do you believe you can grow? Do you believe you can achieve the things that you desire? Are you willing to put in the effort? Are you willing to face any challenges and see it as part of your progress? Are you willing to embrace mistakes and then get feedback from others and not take it personally and grow? Or if you've got a fixed mindset, this might sound like you. You don't believe that you can succeed, therefore you don't try. You believe that other people got a gene that you just didn't get. You won't put in the effort even though you think you might want to because it's futile anyway. You certainly don't embrace challenges because what's the point? You don't believe you're going to be able to grow, and forget about embracing mistakes. You're more concerned about what other people think of you. You're more concerned about looking good and be seen as perfect, which is a common human tendency. So you won't take the risks and forget about getting feedback because you don't believe that you're going to succeed and you don't put in the effort and it's all about looking good. You really won't be open to getting some feedback. You'll take it really personally and you'll often get defensive because you're closed-minded. Now, that's not a criticism. That's what the research is saying. So adopt a growth mindset. Believe that you can. Know that you weren't born with these skills. You can build on them. Make the effort that you need to if you truly want to succeed. Otherwise, you will stay stuck and potentially in pain and suffering. And just getting some comments on Instagram. And then make sure you see the challenges as things you can overcome. Embrace mistakes. Look, Michael Jordan was kicked off the basketball team in high school, right? And went home and bawled his eyes out and then got back in the game and got interested. And the coach said, you got all the talent, but you're not hungry enough. You're not willing to take the feedback enough. Now, he flipped that around. You know, the Beatles were rejected by the Decca recording studio and they were told that their music's out of fashion and, you know, guitar music's just not going to work. They didn't let that stop them. So, you know, there are so many stories. Oprah Winfrey was, you know, fired from one of her first jobs, but they just don't collapse failure with being a failure. Thomas Edison, 10,000 attempts to create the light bulb. So we've just started a new financial year here in Australia. Wherever you are, no matter what day, adopt a growth mindset and it will fast track your ability to succeed. So I hope you found that useful. Now, I have a couple of real estate specific questions that I want to spend some time answering now. Actually, if you have any questions on mindset, by the way, and what I've just shared around the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, feel free to comment and I'll absolutely answer those. Good morning, Romy. Welcome to the new financial year. Romy and Biggin and Scott down at Wyndham City and Melton. How's your second office going, Romy? I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear how it's going. So one question here, how do you build when you're new and in this market? So thanks so much for the person that sent that question. I would suggest, first of all, there's two parts to that question. How do you build when you're new and in this market? First of all, don't let the market determine your game plan. So if you're new to real estate, this conversation is perfect for you because John McGrath has said many times, this game is 10% skill and 90% mindset. Your state of mind will determine how you think, how you feel, what you do, and the results that you produce. So you must have a growth mindset. You must put in the effort. You must overcome challenges. You must embrace mistakes and be open to getting feedback so you can develop and grow. So first of all, don't worry about what the market's doing. Focus on your market, your game. And I would make sure you have a conversation with your principal and get clear about your first 12 months. What is it you want to make, but not your total gross GCI, your gross commission income, but your take-home figure. What's the amount of money that you want to take home? And why? Do you have debt you want to clear? Do you have a house you want to buy? Do you have your first investment property you want to invest in? Do you have a sick kid you need to support and keep alive? Do you want to take the family on a European holiday? What's your why? What matters to you? And just create a 12-month game. And sit down with your leader, and once you work out your take-home figure, reverse engineer, well, how many sales do you need to do that? How many appraisals do you need to do that? How many listings do you need? How many connects and how many calls? And you want to work that figure out down to the daily amount. You need to wake up each day and know from Monday to Friday, my little chunk, how many calls do I need to make this morning to connect to as many people that I can to help them get on to the next phase of their life. Therefore, how many appraisals or how many listing consultations do I need to do to then land the amount of listings to then hopefully achieve my 1, 2, 3, or 4 sales a month. As you're starting out, don't set the bench too high. You really want to make sure that you make it attainable and achievable, but stretch it a little bit. So have a clear vision and goal, and get some support. Make sure you have accountability, your processes and procedures in place. So first of all, have your 12-month plan really clear, and make sure it's not just total GCI. What's your desired take home and why? And then reverse engineer your figures to be clear about the standards you want to achieve. Now, speaking of standards, according to Tony Robbins, there are 3 steps for success. They are standards, our strategies, and our state. Our standard is our why. It's our vision, it's our values, it's our strategic plan. Our strategies are the tools, resources, processes, procedures we use to achieve that standard. So that could be your ideal week. That could be a great CRM system. That could be a great prospecting and marketing plan. It could be a coach. It could be a mentor. But how are you going to fulfill on that why? We're going to be talking more and more about this as we go along in Mindset Mastery Mondays. And the 3rd step for success is state. What is your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual state like? And most of the content that I'll be sharing on Mindset Mastery Monday is how do you get that ripe and right so you can really blossom and shine. So that's the first thing that I would suggest you do. What are the best steps to take? I've already gone through a lot of those. You know, it's really funny. As a coach, I work with a lot of brands and individuals, and it's quite amazing how many people, don't know what their desired take home is. So it doesn't feel real. Most people kind of deal in GCI land of, I want to make 400K, I want to be $1 million agent, or, I want to make 250K. But until you work out what your commission split is going to be with the brand or the agency or the business that you work in, it may not feel really real and tangible. And that's why I also like to work out, well, what's your why? What's your game plan? A personal story from myself, one of my standards of my business last year, I really wanted to go and experience ancient Egypt. I'm 46 now. I wanted to do that since I was 16, and I wanted to do it in style and see everything I could. And that was one of my whys. That was one of my goals. I really wanted my business to succeed, to provide for my family foremost, but then I wanted to have an amazing sojourn over to ancient Egypt and Malta, and I chunked it down and worked hard towards it, and went, and it was the life-changing experience that I had desired. So your standards, clear why, clear vision, clear values, clear strategy. Your strategies, the how to fulfill on that, which is what are the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual things that you need to do as a real estate agent, BDM, principal, property manager, someone in accounts or admin needs to do to achieve those. And how can you elevate your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual state? And this is the stuff in your control. One of the things that really messes with our mindset is when we are too focused on our external conditions, the market, our competitors, the weather, the industry, the news. You can't control any of that. So the best thing for you to do is just stay in your lane and focus the things that you control. How do you have a long and successful career? Great question. That's another question that was asked. How do you have a long and successful career? Well, I started this video by deconstructing the difference between a growth and a fixed mindset. So the first thing is belief. What do you believe? Do you believe that you can have a strong and successful career? Do you believe that you're the creator of your own destiny and you can produce the results that you desire? And then secondly, where's your focus? Where attention goes, energy flows. What are you focused on? What are you doing hourly, daily, weekly, quarterly, and yearly? So I would then go, okay, well, I desire to have an amazing, long-lasting, successful career, but what's your why? What's the lifestyle you're working towards? What's the lifestyle that you're building? What does the future look like for you? And then you want to chunk it down to 12-month chunks and just create a game. I worked with a client the other day whose 3-year goal is to move back to New Zealand, to be close to her family because she wants to start a family. But that's a 3-year plan. And we just chunked down what is year 1, 2, and 3 actually look like. So the best way to have a long-lasting career is believe that you can and pay attention on where your focus goes. Because, as I said, where focus goes, where your attention goes, energy grows. So the growth mindset, just to wrap up, and if you have any personal questions, so, oh, hey, Shane Donovan, good morning. How are you? Mate, you've just smashed your financial goals for 2017-2018 financial year. Mate, I want to ask you, and Romy, you're also here. What did you do in your state of mind? What did you do to actually focus on where you needed to go? Because you had some really, really big challenges. So let's hear from Shane and hear what he said. Simon's got a question here. Yes, you can reach me personally, Simon. Just DM me. That's easy, just DM me. So if you have a question on mastering your mindset or rising resilient in a world of rejection or going beyond your challenges personally or professionally, you can ask any question here. Now, it's also completely confidential, okay? So no names will be mentioned, especially if you DM the question. Unless you want me to mention your name, I just don't mention any names, okay? So please make sure you just let me know either way. So we've also talked about a growth mindset, a fixed mindset. How do you build when you're new? But one of the things that happens, particularly in real estate, especially if you've been in it for a long time, is you can become complacent. You can have a growth mindset, but then you lose your growth mindset because you think you know what you're doing. The most successful people in real estate business just announced their top 100 real estate agents in Australia. And the fundamental characteristics of those top 100 are they have a growth mindset. They are the best in their game. They're the top in their country, and they never feel or believe or act like they have arrived anywhere. They actually constantly invest in themselves and invest in their team to learn and grow. So you want to really look at, is it a skill? Are you looking for new skills in real estate to grow and develop yourself? Or is it a willingness thing? What do I mean by that? Well, the key to success is having the skills, having the mindset first, and then the skills and the will to grow. So do you have the mindset, the belief and focus to grow? Do you have the skills to do that? And what are the skills that you need to grow yourself and your business? But then here's the one that I see as a coach all the time, willing. Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to show up consistently? Are you willing to do what it takes to keep succeeding, to keep showing up, especially when you stuff up, especially when you fail? Are you willing to do what it takes? So that's a question I'd love to leave you with. So we've looked at growth mindset, fixed mindset. We've looked at how do you build when you're new, especially in this type of market. Also, the other thing that I would say, this is a neuro-linguistic programming modeling tool, is replicate a master. If there's someone in your industry that's turning over the amount of revenue that you really want to turn over, Ask them to share their strategy for success. Ask them to share with you, well, how do they do it? Don't reinvent the wheel, replicate it. Okay, replicate it. Success leaves clues, and the top 100 for real estate business just did an exceptional job smashing their results. Congratulations again to all on the top 100. So please reach out to someone that's already succeeding and ask for their help. And as I said in last week's Mindset Mastery, you just might be giving someone else the greatest gift, which is contributing to somebody. We as human beings love contributing. We love helping people. So don't be afraid to ask for help. So I hope that you found that useful. If there's no other questions, I will let you get back to your Monday and your week. If you do have any Mindset Mastery questions, feel free to DM me or email me at Tanja, Tanja, at tmjcoaching.com.au. Have a fantastic week and much love and success. We'll see you soon. And bye to Facebook.